So the man wanted for you to go steal from the web post. He said, I'm a join to go steal to the web next to get money into the store there. We go take it from there. I said, my man, we buy for the same leisure. Then how can the police catch you now? The police go before the man call me back. I was on the 18. where? I go to where?
Before your working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To Bosti now.
No, I'm not Bosti. I'm Bosti. I mean, I go to yeah.
Security man say no Bosti.
How you question me? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand
Yeah.
Then still questioning me, doubling the question. How will talk clear now?
Okay, let's go now.
Journalist.
I break it, sorry.
I say
When I call you in there now.
when a man come in there,
Yeah.
he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say we are 3.
I told the message, you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to
The message, what can you do?
the tea. Have milk tea. Have milk tea.
Oh, milk tea.
Yeah.
For you to drink.
With bread.
The bread.
3 pieces of bread.
The egg is that.
You eat my butter. So carry it to the man. Say carry it to the man. When give it to the man, then you come back to the car.
So the food make you now, you carry that so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah, when I give it to the man, the man say thank you. I say okay. The man say, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right car. So one of my friend call me.
And the same way go do now.
Yeah, I say man.
And the say one for you to go steal.
Yeah. So when I go to the man, he say clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep.
Then there are 2.
A big Jeep.
Yeah.
That wish.
Black DG, yeah. So when I train the car now,
Air condition all is that.
no, Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave it out now. And you can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I break it, sorry.
The way you talk in the question, say when I move from here, I'll free. Say when I move from here, I'll free. You said one talk again. I wanted to mean who talk correct to you, but you talk in the question. Hi, looking, then you want post and no more word there again. Why not be looking to the talk? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office of OSP.
The tea explained to me that you come to get paid. You say you carry the tea to the man. I say you carry the tea to the man and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I'll not there.
Nobody, you getting very, you say, asking you too much question. Hey, there's people say, make your egg and bread. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
when I give you answer now, then do.
Okay, explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go now.
Go to school. The English say and then English.
Sorry.
Say, Ali, you take that. You take that.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say that I can take that to
explain. Okay.
For the next 13 days, I will keep you crying. Are you crying all over the place? What I will continue to do, I've already succeeded in completely demoralizing your base. You're just crying all over the place. I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. How dare you, foolish, desperate people, talk about rescue country? Joseph Boga couldn't even rescue himself. So he passing around, oh, cause that, cause that. Where were you when I raised the money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all sitting there talking nonsense? Talking about cause I ain't got no integrity. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boga, your God. Bunch of ungrateful people. Have you heard Joseph Boga deny that I was raising money left and right to feed him? Have you heard him deny it? He will never deny it because he knows this to be true. Some people thought I was never going to raise something to Boga. Yeah. Because I want to come this. I'm not creating something because I want to create something. I'm creating something because we said yesterday, we are right out of there. And the Joseph Boga at what will come is my encouragement from here to do it. But I will speak because people is standing here some of our past to spend our own money to bring him to come because we thought the wrong yesterday was going to be right again. I have no regret to do that into office. Whatever people that are going to power regret, why I have to go for anything. This country is a better place and will be a better place. money in the pocket, we can make money from outside. But we don't want to empower people here. We should have more focus. We have become more focused. We have become
He said the president promised okay. Anything you want to say before we leave you? Thank you so much.
That's why you made mistake. I heard last night we are going to do actually after the whole election. At in a corner, if you hear my preaching here, Sunday, we will conclude and why. Will you rescue as a preacher after winning? The doctors, I don't even answer my phone, they don't pick me up, they don't let me down, they don't even have time. I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. Everything I will say our son who is brought over to me from Linda, will not be enough on his
were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they kill their time, they change their mind. When they kill their time, they change their mind. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. You freedom with me. They are freedom fighters. Children, they are freedom fighters. Freedom for you defend our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo.
The time check is 12 minutes up to 8 o'clock. And guess what? 19 days to the country's independence. You got it just right. It's 19 days to July 26. And right about this time, I'm sure many of you may have gotten an understanding of how your 26 will be like. You are hopeful somewhere, somehow, and hoping that between now to at least the 20th, the 21st, up to the 24th, things will get better for you. But there are many of you who don't even know. As one will say, no here, no there yet. You don't have any understanding of what this Independence Day celebration will be like for you. It is about time that many of you, at this point now, many of you will sit in a position and get to understand that things are not normal. The country is difficult. Money not coming, no job. People can normally say there is a point that the spoon can reach before more open. I think that where we are reaching now. When you ever thought that this thing was fun, when you ever thought that when we said the country is hard, it was all about fun, I think you have to now sit and rethink and understand for yourself what is going on here. Good morning. Freedom 87.9, the Freedom Morning Rise right here. And of course, the name is Hagar Gonda. Austin Kawa is right, just right around here. It's raining cats and dogs out there. From Pingsville, Johnsonville, Partnersville, up to Cinco and Central Monrovia. It is on a wet Tuesday morning. Good morning. Too many things to talk about here. We have not called it a day yet on the issue about drugs. This entire conversation on drugs, there are always updating information coming out. And for every time it is out, it is our responsibility to sit behind these microphones and inform you, our audience, because it is because of you that we are here. Imagine it is raining. Many of us supposed to be resting this morning. But hey, we had to defy our bags this morning just so we come here and inform you, the Liberian people. So we are receiving information that Michael Brown and his girlfriend, they are currently in Ghana. And when it's about the issue of drugs, all of those connected are missing in action. So yesterday we saw video of Peter King being taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. And we are still conducting our own investigation to understand whether our brother, whether the Peter King guy is in jail or that was just a showmanship. Mind you, now this is Liberia for you and I. 8 minutes up until 8 o'clock. Crime Stoppers Liberia is proudly associated with the Freedom Morning Rally. Let's take Crime Stoppers break. When we come right back here, because we have too many things to talk about while we anticipate the arrival of Austin Kawa and hopefully Abu Sharif. But let's go for Crime Stoppers break right here, Freedom 87.9. When we come back, we try to do our in-house cleaning right here this morning. Let's go for Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers right here. Freedom 87.9 is the radio service of Freedom Communications Incorporated. Let's go for this. Oh, okay. All right.
Come on, musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime unfolding, don't tell her in your hands for the right authority. That it can't take your love in. Crime stop right here for us. In the sector to your door. Whether you rich or you poor. If you see a you must talk it, let me you check. You are for your safety. If you see a don't prepare. No part of report. Crime stop. The people bringing safety to your door. Stop it, cry and make it before them before. Stop Liberia, from the center to interior. Stop keeping ourselves, let's stop it, crime for all of our. Stop the people bringing safety to your door. Stop it, cry and make it before them before. Stop Liberia, from the center to interior. Stop keeping ourselves, let's stop it, crime for all of our.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peaceful and before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Keeping ourselves, let's stop it, crime for all of our. The people bringing safety to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peaceful and before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Keeping ourselves, let's stop it, crime for all of our.
Okay, yes. Good morning. If you're just joining us, this is the Freedom Morning Rouse, and of course, like I said, Austin is here with us now, and together we can ramble you through up until 10 o'clock this morning. Austin, what's up? Good morning.
Good morning to you, Higa, and let me say a very, very pleasant good morning to all of you across the country. Good morning to our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us this morning on a Tuesday in the Republic of Liberia. Is the 7th day of July 2026. And it's good to be here, Higa.
Yeah, sure.
Good job yesterday. I followed the show yesterday. Yeah. Followed the partnership. So Abu cannot be here today. Today's weather thing, yeah. Just as I was on it yesterday, and I was like, no, it better will be we'll still be on the microphone.
Yeah, you're right.
Even if God forbid the sickness or the malaria try to, run harm, let's be on the camera doing the Liberian people's job so they can see.
That is what we sign on to. Imagine with the rain that is falling, many of them who are listening to us are currently stuck on their beds.
Sure.
But we have 5 hours to just be able to come here this morning. That is the responsibility that we owe on to you, the Liberian people.
Sure. And a responsibility that we're so committed to doing. There are challenges. In spite of those challenges, these microphones continue to remain our friend, continue to remain our companion, where we find pleasure, where we find comfort. It presents a more comfortable space for us to interact with you in the public, and that's why we take this seriously and to so dear to our heart. Let's recognize some of the folks joining us via our Facebook live feed, and and then we can remember through the different issues.
And we can start off first with Venetius Junior Bar, who says, I'm following you from New Crew Town. He followed up by saying, "Where is coming back 2029. Melvin Nathaniel Roosevelt Jolo says, good morning. I'm watching from Painesville. Emmanuel Bro says, good morning, Abu Sharif and Hagar. Unfortunately, Abu is in here, but it's Austin and Hagar anyway. As always, I'm watching from Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, on this Tuesday, July 7. Yes. Thank you. Fatu Khan says, I am watching from Kakata, my Gibi County, Republic of Liberia. Joshua Kamun says, good morning. Margaret Vanning says, following from Gartner's Ville Patient Shop. Emmanuel G. Davis says he's watching from the Two Southfield Road. Keba Goya says, good morning, family. I am watching from Texas, USA. Bobby Jadier says, good morning, my Freedom FM family. I am following from my Town resident. And he's followed by Prince Wilson, who says, I'm following from Town Old Road. Please keep it up, he says. Chris Wule says, good morning, Hagar, and of course, okay, Austin. I'm watching from Bartnersville Estate District 11. Beningo Bala Newton says, good morning, Freedom Morning Ras. I'm watching you from Sophie Community, Congo Town, Monrovia, Liberia. Patricia John is up next. She says, good morning, Freedom FM. Johnson Dollar says, good morning, guys. I am watching from my New Jersey resident. Wisse Colley says, I'm watching live from Monrovia, Liberia, MVTC, he says. Alexander Osega says, good morning, brother. I am watching from Benas Farm Telecom, Alaska Pay. Alaska says, good morning, family. I'm watching from GS8 Road. Edward Cole says, I am watching from Banga City, Bon County. Thank you, Edward. Honorable Papi Success Kate at the minute to call the CDC from there. He says, good morning, Freedom FM 87.9. Stanley A. Anderson says, good morning, Freedom FM family. I'm following live this morning from down Waterside, New York building. Asata M. Miller says, good morning, Freedom Morning Rise family. I'm watching live from Soul Clinic Community. Good to be on the show. She says, Miracle Kura says, good morning, Freedom Radio Liberia. I am following the show live from Ganta City, Nimba County. Asari Khan says, I'm Isaac Asari Khan. I'm watching from my home in Ghana. Thanks for the show, President. We will come back to power in 2029. He says that. Sanel Dagose Menja is following from YouTube. Says, I am Abu Sanel Dagose Menja, following from Dambala Town, Pokwa District, Grand Cape Mar County. Lovetta Bombo says, I'm watching from Soul Clinic. Junior Sequet says, good morning, my guys. I am watching from my new community, Dixville. It is so amazing to be, to always follow you guys every morning for your continual balance and educative analysis on Freedom Morning Rise on the People's Radio. He says, let God Almighty continue to keep you safe and sound. He says that. Just finally, is it finally? Oh, gosh. Austin T. Musa says, good morning. Ofrenso Bole says, good morning. I'm watching you from Kwapa City, Kolahun District. Abraham Swan says, watching and following from my watching and following from my Chicken Factory Golf community. They feel that Chicken Factory Rona. Estelle M. Chipley says, good morning. I'm watching from Batnersville Junction. George King Jaffa Sewell says, good morning. My name is George Sewell. I am watching from Bombay County. Great job. Junior Johnson says, good morning. I'm following from around the free port of Monrovia. Thanks for the show. We are 2029. Martina Bona says, good morning. I am watching from Pennsylvania, the USA. Ma Anison Mutari says, good morning, Abu and Hager. Okay. Jeremiah Collet says, watching from Mississippi Street, Greenville, Sino County. There are just too many. Let me just get Roland Sua says, good morning, Freedom Radio Liberia. I am Roland Sua watching from Johnsonville, Kangastan. He says that. Austin, I think we can stop here. The messages are just too many.
Yes, obviously, and the messages wouldn't stop coming because everybody wants to, have a say, be heard on the show, which is not a bad thing. But unfortunately, we can't just speak with or recognize everybody. Mm-hmm. So a lot we can say taking place in our country. A lot of things are taking place in our country. Controversial things, with the government and the response from the opposition to this thing. This whole, especially this job thing, is something that we. Should obviously not cease to talk about. The way the government engages with the investigation and the way the opposition decides to respond or treat this matter. All of these actions are concerns that we need to talk about. Hagar. So I thought we can just run through the different things. But so Senator Darius Dillon wrote something that I think we should elevate. And then Variety News also published a piece this morning that was forwarded to me about the same Michael Brown guy who is alleged to have either escaped or to have been released from the Monrovia Central Prison. The authorities, prison authorities or correctional authorities are being accused of facilitating the release of Michael Brown under the instructions of profile justice officials, quote officials, unquote. So, but this is what Darius Dillon wrote. He said, in our collective fight to rid our country of illicit drugs, we must leave no stone unturned and we must spare no rod. The reported release of drug convict Marcus Brown or Michael Brown from prison is troubling. Michael was convicted and sentenced in 2003. That's underscored a year. Marcus was convicted and sentenced in 2003 for possession and trafficking of illicit drugs under the drug law. He should be serving his jail term under the supervision of the Ministry of Justice. Shockingly, it was recently discovered and reported that convict Brown was released from prison in late 2024 under very unclear and questionable circumstances. The judge who instructed and ordered the release must be questioned under the possibility of impeachment. The Justice Ministry Authority or authorities who facilitated the release from prison must be made to answer questions and appropriate actions taken. Immediately upon my return from London next week, I will pursue these issues at the Senate to ensure transparency and accountability in our pronounced fight against illicit and controlled drugs. The chips must fall where they may, without fear or favor. And then Variety News is also reporting this. Variety News is reporting that Michael Brown and his girlfriend are in Ghana. Michael Brown and Tony Denukia.
I got. It was the guy who was leading the motorcyclist there in Kakata for the election of Parker as president.
He's the one?
Yeah. You remember one time there was a situation
in
Mike Gibby that led to that involved gasoline and motorcyclists and all of that. He was the one who led that.
Okay. So it is being reported that Michael Brown and Tony Denuka are long-term business partners. I want to tell you something. So this is in quotation what Variety posted. I want to tell you something. The truth is that Michael Brown and Tony Magibi Denuka have been trafficking drugs for many years. They are long-term partners who have been trading drugs, and they once worked at the airport also. Many people working at the RRA know about this at the airport. The cartel spent a lot of money to get Michael out of prison. The intent was for him to escape because he's a central figure. He's a central figure in this case. Michael was never sick. That's a lie. High-profile justice, security, court, and correctional officers were heavily bribed to let him out. Michael sent his girlfriend out of Liberia a day after the 19.2 million cocaine was arrested. And when you started releasing the leaked CCTV videos, his girlfriend's name, I don't know what she called it. Okay, it's in the public anyway. His girlfriend's name is Toshi Grant, but she goes by the name Jojo Arrow on Facebook.
Okay.
If you go to Facebook, you realize our Facebook page is locked. She locked her page. Yeah, she locked the page. So he says Jojo's name on Facebook is, Toshi's Toshi's name on Facebook is Jojo Error. She fled the country to Accra, Ghana, to Peace Air, Nigerian airline. Michael Brown and Jojo Error are in Accra, Ghana right now. Michael left Liberia and escaped through Ivory Coast to Accra by road. As for Oscar Brown, he's no longer in China. He's crossed over to Taiwan. The guys are roaming. Martin, I have a lot to leak to the security on Michael Brown, Tony Magibi Denuka, and Oscar Brown, but don't know who to trust. May I start reading them? I know them like that. They have been doing drugs business for many years with Paul King, Peter King, Arthur Abdullahi, and the rest of the gang. Please protect my identity. I trust you because you have done a lot to open the eyes of Liberian people about the drug cartel in Liberia. At the leaked videos you released caught them unaware. So protect my identity. I know them like that, and I have a lot of them, a lot on them. Send me your WhatsApp number. So that's a conversation
between
an insider sent to Martin on Messenger, and Martin published in quotation. Now, I want us to intersperse the whole conversation in one. So I want us to play the audio recording from the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs. I don't know what you have it. So let's listen to that audio recording. On last night, the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Cultural Affairs now, because tourism is out. So let's listen to what Daniel Sando had to say about, in all of this.
Very extremely ridiculous, but I'm not surprised. This is a Rondix here that we've come to know, and I think to a greater extent, Ronde has to be ashamed of himself for me to live a life, and I suddenly start to destroy everything that I built for myself, only in the name of being a mercenary. It's just a terrible thing. There's nothing left of Ronde. All he does is to blackmail, and you see that in the publication of a newspaper every day. And this is very embarrassing for mainstream journalism in our country. And I get told to say that even the PUL that the Ministry of Information has consistently worked with to ensure that journalists do self-regulate, has not been joined to the picture, and they have to be mindful of some of the things about issues that have national security implication. And to that end, I'd like to take the line taken by Mr. Nangwe and Stephen, that the cartel comprises a lot of intricate facets. They operate in a way that they're not easily identifiable. Let us trace some of the things that Ronisi people has done since the inception of this case. What did they do? It was a very front page Africa that exposed the identity of the whistleblower. Don't forget that. Was there a motive behind that publication? Somebody who took a patriotic step to inform the security apparatus to say there is something going on here, you need to come to investigate. Under our jurisprudence, that person's identity must be held sacrosanct, must be protected. What did Ronisi do? He published a picture of that young man, thereby putting he and his family at risk. Ronisi didn't get stopped there. His paper was one of the leading paper. Oh, the government is there dying with the case. They have not charged anybody. The king's brother being protected. There are people in government who are protecting them. The government moves to charge 5 persons, including one of the king brothers. What did Ronisi do? Takes a wild mouth and spoon and say, I'm not saying the vice president is involved, but he needs to answer questions. This is sad for our country. And any smart person will just see through the actions of these people. That Romney, who I consider him to be one of the critics of the government, not a journalist, and the entire opposition in the country, they are on a fishing expedition. Because it's obvious that they have got no factual and basic political grounds for advocacy. All they are doing is to go one day, they hanging on this one. Oh, Stephen Johnson go to West soon today. Oh, the government not pay her people yet. Oh, the road for her to go to Zurich is not good. They have nothing tangible to argue about. And in the end, we also have to know that this man's source of daily bread has been destroyed, has been crushed, has been bruised. Wrongly leaving somewhere to his pocket. Tuah is being prosecuted by the current government. Not because he did something right, because he stole Labrimpo money. Wrongly and Front Page Africa are not taking that lightly. Even if Tuah wrote nonsense on Facebook, they would take it just as Tuah published it and put it in the paper. That's how far the partnership between Tuah and Wrongly CA is. And so, we just want to apologize to the public to forgive him for what he said. He shouldn't be taken seriously. Because at this point, I think the Bouaka administration has led by example. We've proven that our zero tolerance stand against drug, illicit drug, is not just by mere pronouncement, but practical action. And nobody, including Ronnie CA, can impinge that record. The DEA that you see today was not the DEA of yesterday. This is a DEA that can now seize millions of dollars in foreign currency and turn it over to the authority. Back in the days, it never used to happen. In fact, there were officers in the DEA themselves who were accused of being drug dealers and drug traffickers. That has changed. The DEA of yesterday had just one paper for operation. Today, you have a DEA that is being supported with the logistics that they need, not just to move around Montserrat County, but the entire country. Budgetary allocation has increased. They're getting the support of the government. So it's not just by lip service that we say we want to fight drugs. It's through our actions. And in Labrimpo, you see that. Unlike, and I hate to do the comparison because drug is having a real terrible effect on our young people. But come to think about it, we are compelled to give a flashback that the very people who shielded, who protected foreigners who brought 100 million worth of drug in our country are the one being the lousy talkative all around and saying, oh, the government is not doing it, the government is not doing that. The question people are really must be asking themselves is, where was he? When the all 9 foreigners that were arrested taken to court, and Dwalo, guess what? The judge read a not guilty verdict in less than an hour. Those people could not be found on Liberian soil. They vanished from Liberia. Across the country, they vanished. Nobody could find them. Ronnie CA was here. He was doing all the PR for the CDC government. It didn't pay off because the Labrimpo could see through the deception. These are mercenaries who have used the media landscape to enrich himself. That is why even all of the young people who work with him, today they are nowhere to be found because of the greed and deception. The Liberian people can see the truth and they know between the CDC government and this government who were the accomplices in the fight against drug. Who were those who conspired to bring drug into this country? They know them. The Honorable Vice President has distinguished himself. And I know his record speaks for itself. As an earnest businessman who managed to beat poverty to get to where he is today, it took the grace of God and great determination. And no amount of blackmail from folks that wrongly see can distract the Honorable Vice President. The public knows his record. and the president trusts him a whole lot. What the government has done on this drug case is enough to vindicate the government. My only call to the opposition is that they need to improve on the game. All that I see here is that they are on a fishing expedition. It's not taking them anywhere. Thank you.
Okay. Still want us to do the other one here. Everybody, I don't want to listen to.
Why are you laughing?
Because honestly, just on yesterday, I spent over 3 to 4 hours with somebody from the higher ups in this administration. In our conversation, Austin, many of what I was informed about, they don't want me sitting and telling people if the president is involved. Austin, I can say this: the president is aware of these drugs. And it is not that he is the one doing the business, but the president has been briefed on who all involved in this drug. If you see from the the joint security standpoint, all of those who are considered as Gregory Coleman's bosses, all of them have been put at the back, and they are using Gregory to do the dirty work. You know why? Because they believe he's a young guy, and then Gregory to himself is using anger and arrogance and wanting to cover what is happening. So, under no condition, and this is a clear challenge. This is a very clear challenge to the entire government. Under no condition, any of you can say on record from your conscience that the president is not aware of who all involved in this drug thing. He said, well, if you see that we're talking about drugs, President Baka has left the country and gone to Turkey because the thing is, he has decided to go thinking that his team will do the dirty work here before he comes back. So let Daryl Billion stop playing with people around here. No, let them stop. Nobody can tell us that this drug thing, the president is not informed, is not aware of who all involved. If they want to start pushing us, then that thing where you can call security and sensitive information that should no, then we will not go by that. No, some of us just decide to be security minded for the peace and safety of our country. Some of these information that we can get, we can swallow them. Let me say here today, if many of you don't know, some of this information we can get, we can swallow them because of the interests of our country. But if they say they want to make us look that we are all stupid people, then no, we are not going to take that. Then maybe we just bust everything, or if you want to put people in jail, or do it, go ahead and do it. Because only beating your do your close freedom FM or anybody that want to talk about it, put in jail. You stop making fools of Liberians. The law should be telling us if the president is aware or if, no, man.
You see, I mean, it's an interesting conversation, but I'm just sorry for our country. And truly, I'm truly sorry for our country. You know, yesterday I was listening to a talk show of my colleagues. I normally listen to Oliver and Judas in the evening hours, you know, switching between them. And Musa Kone, a former official and an executive of the CDC, flew into the show and said and described Liberia as a, excuse my expression, stupid country. And I could honestly begin because he myself would have, you know, checkmated him or call him out. But I could sense the frustration in his voice, and not just him. Not the fake way that you see coming from people like Didon on Facebook. They're trying to back. When we started engaging the government on this drug thing, the Senate was silent. Didon was silent. They all felt it was a CDC or opposition propaganda against the government. To date, the deputy minister still sounds like the drug conversation we're having is nothing serious. To the extent that he still believes, he still thinks that the government's approach to this drug investigation is the best that should be celebrated. So the best thing to do, let's call people out who are criticizing and call them names and insult them, and then the problem is solved and my job is done effectively. But down the other side, I want all of us to realize that this drug thing is not an opposition thing. This is not the normal propaganda. This is a matter that is well situated before the joint security. That even folks within the joint security are disappointed and they are afraid to do their jobs. This is not the normal politics we do, Daniel. This is not the normal politics we do. Yeah, I can commend the government for the level of, for the increase in allocation to the DEA. The question is, if allocations are made to the entity, how they are used, how effective have they used those allocations? You can give the DEA 30 million every budget year. If the DEA's decision is being influenced by folks within the executive marshal, the 30 million means nothing. It's useless. Take 100 million and give to the DEA and influence every decision of the DEA. That 100 million becomes useless. You know why? Because the operation department will not be able to operate. They are taking instruction or working at the dictates of the folks within the executive marshal. When drug dealers or transitors or whosoever are arrested, they are called and instructed to release them. Investigation does not take place without the influence and interruption of folks within the executive marshal. It means the wrong people may be arrested, the wrong people will be charged, and the right people will not be arrested or will be released and allowed to flee the country. Does that solve the problem about fighting drugs? No. The cartel remains strong. Because if members of the cartel are arrested and released, and you start chasing accomplices, man, till they be carried down there. When you go there, ask for a guy and give it to him. Those are the people you're chasing. And the real people who communicated, who had conversations, who had discussions, who authorized the entry of the drug in the country, who called around to give instructions, who reached out to government officials, and government officials called airport authorities, police authorities, justice ministry authorities, LDA authority, and gave instruction to authorize the release of the concerning those who call to attempt to bribe. They all have not been revealed. Their names have not been revealed. They are still routing flags with the president from one place to another. And somebody, Daniel wants us to believe that the government is doing well. That the government is doing well. This is not about whether somebody living in somebody's pocket or whether somebody was living in somebody's pocket. Even Daniel is the beneficiary of people, of other people. People help him before. How come today a national conversation is being reduced to somebody living in somebody's pocket? And I mean, the arrogance. Imagine just yesterday you were asking somebody for school fees. Imagine yesterday you were begging somebody.
And the very way we're begging because
imagine yesterday somebody was buying you drinks, beer, and stuff. And today you turn, and then today you want to behave like you never sought assistance from anybody before. And Daniel, I mean, we can't be going personal when we're having national conversation, man. Ronnie has a history of working in this country. He made journalists, seasoned journalists in this country. He made people, men and women in the media. He made them. He promoted them. He added strong flavors to print journalism in this country. You can't take that away from him. He's invested in this country. And you want to reduce him to living in somebody's pocket? But I know that those are some of the distractions. Let's throw this out, and and then they will come back to clarify, and then we can be able to divert their attention from the real issue, the real conversation about the 19 million job, and put them in the position to start clarifying. Nobody clarifying. If you believe that Ronnie lives into a pocket, fine. Let's go back and talk about the 19 million job. Michael Brown is released from prison. An individual that was convicted under this very CDC government that is accusing here of releasing people who were connected to the 100 million drug. CDC arrested him, investigated him, indicted him, prosecuted him. He was guilty and sentenced. In 2023, 2024, you release him. To take power and released a drug convict. For all those in the UP, they see nothing wrong with that. Why should we talk about it? So talking about a drug convict being released from prison after he was convicted and sentenced, that's the crime. So that's the crime. Why was he released? It's not the issue. Should not be the issue. The issue for Daniel and the UP folks is that should be, why are we talking about it? Don't talk about it. You release it. Look, the U.S. State Department released the 2025 report. I always make reference to that. Corruption remains hard within the justice system. Corruption. They say you take bribes. They say justice. The warning justice here is not effective. They say you compromise. Judges are compromised. If somebody is convicted for the very drug that you are insulting Rodney CA for criticizing. And your government released him, or he walked, vanished from the Monrovia Central Prison. And nobody within the Ministry of Justice, within the courts, within the correction, can give account. The government has not issued any public statement about the release or the escape of Michael Brown from the Monrovia Central Prison. Today, all we can do is to insult those who talk about it, to ridicule those who speak about it, to speak to people, to speak to your critics in such a condescending manner. For you, that serves the purpose. The contradiction. How you want to fight jobs and you are releasing people who are convicted, and you do not want anybody to criticize that action. You don't want anybody to criticize the action. So the man just vanished from the Monrovia Central Prison and fled to Ghana. And nobody should talk about it. The vice president came to the public and denied knowing Tony. When all of us have interacted with Tony through the vice president's office, when he was just representative. It is shameful, Riga. It's shameful. The vice president should not be misleading. Some will say lying. For you to lie publicly as the vice president, when there are people, you are aware that there are people who are not Unity partisans or MDR partisans who are aware that you know Tony and Tony works for you. How can you deny such an information about somebody you know, somebody you recommended for a job, somebody who worked with you, somebody who you recommend to get elevated at the lottery authority? You deny publicly that you don't know the person. And people were in the very same Lima County are the people releasing information about your relationship with Tony. For me, I found that to be shameful on the part of the vice president. But you know what, yeah? When you lie, when you go to the public and lie that you don't know somebody, and it comes out, it turns out to be that you actually know the person, then there's a motive. There's a motive. We have to establish the motive. Why would the vice president not want to identify with Tony? Okay, let me not use the word identify. Why does the vice president not want to admit that he knows Tony? Why is he refusing to admit? Just to admit that I know him. Knowing Tony should not mean you instructed him to go and commit crime. So why should he be denying Tony? Knowing Tony.
Austin here, and I work together.
Yeah.
He knows me well. It doesn't in any way mean that when I go out there and maybe I do something wrong, and Austin publicly say that, oh, I know that Hagar, man. Oh, I know Hagar. Or that means that Austin instructed me to do what I did. No, that's why when lawyers say crimes are not transferable.
So what the vice president will be denying knowing Tony? I mean, that's too shameful for me to represent the office of the vice president. Mr. Vice President, you should not have denied that man.
Especially when you know that connection exists.
You shouldn't have done so. Now you've raised more questions over your character or whatsoever integrity you have because of your denial of Tony. You didn't solve the problem. You added insult to injury. You didn't solve the problem. Now, I was speaking with one of my colleagues in his office on the media people. I was telling them, I was like, all of you sat in our office and the vice president issued that statement when you guys are aware. Because there are two persons in the vice president office who know that I know that the vice president knows Tony. Why you sit there and allow the vice president or encourage him to go around Facebook that he doesn't know the man? In serious country, Kung will be resigning today. In serious country, the vice president will be stepping down. This one vice president has been associated with different allegations and claims. So who hit Jeremiah Kun? Nobody hates Jeremiah Kun. Jeremiah Kun is not the president. If anybody should be a target here, Joseph Boakai should be the hard target for the opposition and his critics. So when it comes to harvesting human power in the country, that only Jeremiah Kun people can make reference to. When it comes to doing a counterfeit money, that Jeremiah Kun people were accused. It comes to illegal money in Nima, that Jeremiah Kun people were accused. They come to drug again, Jeremiah Kun again. Chief, it means there is something wrong about either you or your surrounding that needs to be checked. It's either you are sanctioning these people, those people around you who are engaged or allegedly engaged into those wrongdoings, or you are encouraging that presence around you.
And they are using their proximity. Yeah, they are using it.
Because if Austin knows that Jeremiah Kun begin here, obviously also Jeremiah Kun begin comes to the airport, I will not bother him. Because I know his school speaking. So they are using their proximity, either with your consent or without your consent. At that point, Mr. Vice President, it means you need to clean your circle. It means you must clean your circle with the people around you. This is not about a no bad bush to chew your child thing. Good thing about it is that you are denying some of them. So what you are Vice President. You can't keep having your regular bad people around you in your circle, and these news are still involving around you, from human power harvesting to importing a counterfeit money from China, to even getting involved in the illegal money activities in Nima. Now we're talking junk. People around you connected. This is disappointing, Mr. Vice President. It is. And we must call a spade a spade. We can have our Vice President name involved in all of the bad things in our country. And all the Vice President will come to say, I don't know the person. I don't know the person. But like I said, this is our country. This is the country we have. We can't give up on it.
Me, I give you over.
But the Vice President's only response, if his only response is that I don't know the man, it's not enough. That's where Ronnie came in. Then we need to go beyond this thing. We need to go beyond the Vice President's statement, because there are pictures, random pictures, in smiling moods with this guy that the Vice President claims not to know. How come you don't know somebody? The person keeps running into your circle, in your office, your different private spaces, with your wife, and you say, and you claim to not know the person, and you want everybody in the country to behave stupid and agreed that yes, the Vice President does not know the man because he says he doesn't know the man. And this is what Daniel Sanders wants us to believe and accept. I will not side with those who will conclude that because the Vice President is seeing photos with Tony, suggest that he sanctioned the activities of Tony. I wouldn't side with that conclusion. I am only disappointed over the fact that I think in my mind, professionally, you see, all day we're having talking something about these so-called baby people in government, how they interact with their media people. You hire somebody as a media advisor to you. Because every public statement that you make should the advisory. That advisory, there should first be an advisory infrastructure established, where everything that you want to see or write should pass through that advisory infrastructure.
Or the person should even be the one doing it and send it to you for approval.
But you can be the one going to Facebook and writing, or going to radio and talking and just talk the issues you want to talk about. We're reaching an interview with some people. Only a few persons in the country will do that. But that's a standard way. Because of your status in the country, you have to adapt to standards. Standard ways of doing things. You are the vice president of our country. And somebody say, oh, these are pictures with Vice President Tony. Boom, you jump to Facebook to deny. But in your mind, you know that we are media person. Gentlemen, they are all men. I'm a picking here. I'm picking in Paris. What do you not put in again? What do we do?
But
what do we do?
But again, Austin, apparently those he got around him are not giving him the right media advice.
See, we don't know that man. You know the man.
Yeah, it could be.
It
could be.
Yeah, but and who? And you control the page? Yeah, but then go right now. He goes to the page and say, I don't know Tony. And the thing about Liberia now, the war, technology, even man can sit down in Bon County and go on the internet and research.
Somebody feel like when you say, and I know, no more thing, I know. And I'm going to carry nowhere. So that is apparently upon that they continue to mislead national leaders. And it's terrible. And if the vice president is any serious person, he himself should really be getting rid of some of those media people in his office.
To sit down and do real processing. Even if that one paragraph, it must be processed. Because we're talking jockey in your relationship to somebody who is indicted. This is not just a denial thing. Go deny the man. We don't know that man. That man is fully man. You on your own. The man on your own. Boom. But then you go read it on Facebook. The country. I mean, to rescue this country is a complicated thing. It's difficult. We all know. But you all projected the situation as though it was peeling red banana and sliding it in honey and chewing it. That's how you presented the solutions to Liberia's problem. That was just a red banana sitting, you just peel the red banana, and then you slide in the honey, and then you can either grind it, or mash it, or do what you want to do it, or chew it. The Liberia problem is solved. That's how you presented the solution to Liberians. That the problems were easy, and that the people in charge or in power then were unserious to govern, or they didn't know how to do it. So give it to us. We know it. I've been around for over 45 years in public service. I have people around me who are all at school or who all went to universities and what have you. So we bring the trained people, the qualified people to do the work. Yes, that's how you presented Liberia's problem. When President Salif told you that it was difficult to fight corruption because the country is small and everybody is some way related somehow, people feel President Salif was admitting to just ordinary or regular failure, but President Salif was identifying a societal or a systemic problem, a systemic obstacle to the fight against certain things in our country. That any political will could be fought by family, friends, and relatives when it comes to making certain decisions. And they all think that after 12 years for President Salif to make that admittance, and George Weah would have come to face it in 6 years. And within 6 years, George Weah was not qualified, he was incompetent, he was not serious to fix Liberia's problems. And they projected themselves as the qualified folks. Today, the qualified or so-called qualified folks are in power, and they are complaining while the unqualified people are criticizing the decisions they are making. Yeah. Because you should not be giving the unqualified people with the unqualified people any reason to criticize you. But now, I mean, yeah. Some Phoebe Hospital people protesting yesterday. Then I was like, you gave Phoebe Hospital, I think 1.9 million or 2 million or something around there. Hey man, can 1.9 million run that kind of referral hospital with the kind of population in Central Liberia at a referral hospital that hosting people, patients from Lofa, Nima, Magibi, and Bonk itself? And when you expect 1.9 million to run that hospital? And I'm told just salary alone consider about 35% of that amount. Then you look at the president's budget, it's something around $9 million. Yeah. The EPS budget. Down the Ministry of State budget, just the EPS budget. 9 million.
The Ministry of State carrying, I think, 15.4. Something like
Then
that.
I want to ask yourself, what are we? What are we up to? What do we want to change? What do we want to arrest? What do we want to arrest and rescue? Yes. What do we want to arrest and rescue? Giving 1.9 million dollars to a referral hospital that hosts over 30 to 40,000 human beings within 3 months, in a quarter of your budget. Every quarter, a hospital hosting over 35,000 patients quarterly. And you gave them 1.9 million dollars to run that hospital, and you gave EPS that does not even have anything like the way the Ministry of Agriculture here, county officer, yes, agricultural staffs and things, you get a different detachments. EPA ain't get that kind of structure.
The thing about the hospital is you have to put drugs in, you have to bring drugs, you have to pay the staff.
Mobile. You need a lot of, and you sit down and give people 1.9 million, and you take $9+ million and give it to EPS to protect the president.
But again, these are the very same people that joined me and Martha Morris around here. They were shouting all in the community. You harmonize our salary, harmonize.
And she's deputy minister for
administration.
And she can
The
solve
de facto minister. See there, nothing happening. The Bonk County. Bonk County, they got Phoebe, they got a CB Doma hospital, and all the other small hospitals there, clinics. Nurses are there complaining. They are crying every morning for salary or whatever. Lack of materials in the hospital. Nothing has been said about it. Martha Morris used them during the election to make noise around here. Today, you're complaining, you're protesting. You can see Martha Morris there. No. It has become your effects, not her. Your salary is of no importance to her again. She's not talking anything about that.
She wanted to chase her.
That's why it is.
So you don't chase her.
Like I said, honestly, even this thing about this drug and whatever thing in our country, for me, let me say this to you. I think I'm getting tired with Liberia's conversation. The reason I'm just tired, you see, I left 7 months plus. I was sitting home yes, I felt good with that. Even though at a certain point I felt like what I want to do, I wasn't doing it. And it was terrible from my end. But again, Austin, this is Liberia. The terrible thing about it is the very same people that you're fighting for, the very same people that you had to leave from your house early this morning to get under the rain to come here and sit here and advocate for. The very same people who can eat on time. The very same people who, when they leave from here, they go at the very health facilities across the country. There are no drugs. Nurses are there reluctant because they are not being paid. When you leave from here, you go to government schools across the country. No chairs for students. The very same people you leave your home every morning to come and sit and advocate for, they are the very same people who, because of their political lines, their party interest, you see, they call you names. when they know that these things, and the thing is, I told somebody, many of you, I don't understand some of the classified information that we can have. We don't share them with you because of our security thing. But if some of you have the opportunity to just sit around some of those people you call leaders, just sit around and listen to their plans for you, you will feel terrible. Why you think now that the country, like, no election around, why you think they are not coming your community? Some of you, the lawmakers, you're even elected, you're not seeing them. When was the last time you saw your lawmaker? All these things are happening. They are not coming to start opening vocational schools around for you. Why? You think they really care about your well-being? They care about your tomorrow? They care about empowering you? No, that's not their interest. But 2, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to election, you found them running, coming to conduct 1 more training, 2 more training, only because they want to get you. And then when people say they want to talk for you, you feel like, oh, somebody still thinking, and they joke. So somebody will be asking questions. And when you talk about it, when they say they want to happy doing real time. No, that's why we change government. If I'm working in this office and I'm not at this station and I'm not performing well, the management here have the right to replace me. And when they're replacing me, they are not replacing me with somebody who will come and be less efficient than I was or I am. It should be somebody who will perform more than what I used to do or what I'm doing. So if you sat on there and said, George Weah and his people, they were, somebody said, but I think I got rid of that sense. So if you sat there and said, George Weah and his people were doing things against the interests of the country, and you went to election in 2023, you got rid of them, there is no reason for you still comparing George Weah's administration with the rescue and the rescue administration. No, you should not. Because you removed the CDC and brought in the Unity Party with the rescue agenda or the arrest agenda. You brought them to improve all some of those good things that George Weah did and the worst things that you think George Weah did to do better than George Weah's administration did. Just in the country today, you say, but any arrested just before doing George Weah regime. No desks or no chairs in schools, government schools across the country. Then somebody say, hey, arrested, this thing existed during George Weah's administration. Then where is the change? Was this change basically about people just going in and benefiting at the detriment of the Liberian people? Was it about increasing the NSA budget? Was it about increasing the police budget? Was it just about increasing the office of the president's budget? Or it was about fighting drugs? The arrested drugs during George Weah's regime, investigation was done. People were held liable here in this country. Where are we with this? All of what happened during the Weah's administration, many of those things, when they arrested drugs before doing the Weah's administration, you always sit down there and just conclude that George Weah, Lafina Bondo, Jefferson Koji, you will just sit down, conclude without evidence. But today, during the Weah's administration, was there any point in time that anybody was arrested with drugs? And that person that was arrested had any connection with anybody from the Weah's administration? Tell me if you had any. Was there any? No. But today, people are being arrested with drugs. This is not the first time. They arrested drugs in Lofa County. It was connected to the president's son friend. Dr. Baka friend, they arrested a huge quantity of drugs in this country. Sometimes the son of the president. To me, we are all, let's say, how you call the other we are, like in BBN, Father Chan, we are all around here in this country. Did you at any point in time hear that, oh, that person they arrested, oh, that Chan friend, oh, and nothing came from out of what the person did? Was there at any point in time that somebody was arrested or judged, it was proven that that person, that CDC person, nothing came from out of it? But today, we are seeing it. The office of the vice president is being associated with people involved in drugs, allegedly. You just sit down there and say, oh, we're having doing we are done. The drugs are arrested doing we are done. They drugs doing we are done. There was a change. And the terrible thing that I will continue to say to you people, the terrible thing that we continue to do to ourselves is that once we sit and compare that this person did it, so I must do it, all the people that are doing it, they are not wrong, another person will come after this person. You may not be connected to that person now. And when it is happening, others will start to reference your own people day. Then where is the change? Then we should not be going to election. Or is the election just about giving few people the opportunity? The vice president is distancing himself from somebody involved in drugs because for somebody who we have had ties with, relationship with. And the action of the vice president is even becoming more alarming and more featured, as some will say, because there should be no reason that I'm going to distance myself from somebody because of their action. If I, as a person, know pretty well that from my conscience, I have no connection to what that person have done. No, not at all. Like we said here, Austin cannot, or Austin should not distance himself from me, from knowing Hagar, or Hagar should not distance himself from knowing Austin, because Austin or Hagar has been accused of an action. So if phone loss from here, they say that Hagar took the phone, and they say Hagar from Austin, Hagar colleague with Austin, and Austin said, no, I don't know Hagar, but it is proving that Austin knows me. They cannot prove that Austin and I are in cahoots for that thing that our phone now talk. So if the office of the vice president, if the vice president will post on his official Facebook page and announce to Liberians that he don't know somebody publicly, but on the ground, people, there are evidence that he knows the person well. But because the president has been arrested with drugs, so he won't distance himself from that person, then it proves something on the contrary. Have you come to think about it? The vice president got no reason. As a vice president, like you said, plenty of people will take picture with you. Yeah, you are right about that. But when it is about somebody that you know, this guy, that I know what kind of, the other guy from Mike Gibby, that guy campaign. He campaigned. And I'm sure many of the journalists there in Mike Gibby can testify, or some of you who are the partisans of Unity Party, you're there, you can testify to it. That guy led the charge for motorcyclists to go and campaign for the Unity Party. You know, they toured that Mike Gibby there. And today, the vice president is telling us he don't know the person, he don't know that person, he don't. Gosh, it's terrible.
And then the government spokespersons want us to accept because it comes from because it comes from them. But listen, Liberians have a message for the country, for the folks in power. We've realized that getting disappointed, probably because of the arrogance of the folks in the UP, should lead us into maybe winding down our activities, and disengaging from the front line and all of that. But we think it does not worth it. It does not call for that. It hasn't gotten to that point. The government is giving us no reason to celebrate them. The government is giving us no reason for any strategic partnership. No. The government is giving us enough reasons to believe that they are up for destroying this country and destroying our young people. The fight against drugs remains a lip service. A lip service. The fight, it lacks political will to allow the DEA to operate independently. It lacks the political will to allow the joint security to operate independently. Even if the joint investigative team does an investigation, and that investigation linked high-profile officials to the investigation, and their findings included in the findings with recommendation for other prosecution or whatsoever, the political will is not there to allow those high-profile individuals to get prosecuted. They do not even allow them to be subjected to an investigation. They are being shielded by the power. How the hell somebody wants to tell me that Michael Branger worked from the Central Prison and left for Ghana? The ordinary Liberian could easily believe that. We could not believe that. We just established contact with the office of the vice president. I think you saw the call coming in just now, but you wanted to prefer for us. So if they don't respond to us, no problem. The same thing we were just talking about, effective communication. People feel that they are not obligated to respond to inquiries from the public or from the media. People believe people who are media executives working with government officials believe that they should not respond. Look, let me tell you something. Democratic tenets require tolerance. You don't need to be a friend to Austin Kawa or Hagar Gonda to respond to his inquiry. That's maturity. That's tolerance. That's a strength on which democracy is built. That's a strength on which democracy is built. Because you will be the same person tomorrow to complain that they didn't establish contact with us. They didn't reach out to us. I can critique your activities. I can criticize your decisions. But when there are issues that require clarification or confirmation, I must reach out to you to hear you. That's what responsible broadcasters will do. And it is a responsibility to respond. It is not an option, or it should not be an option. Then are you right to say, it is my right not to respond, or it is my right to respond? No right in our.
You are serving public.
Yes.
You owe us explanation.
So anytime people ask you question, even if you are hurt by utterances made by a media person or by a story written by a newspaper, that does not, or that hurt or that pain, that uncomfort that you feel or discomfort you feel should not influence your decision or your willingness to respond to inquiries from the media. Critical media people will reach out to you for confirmation with inquiries. Friendly media people will reach out to you for inquiries. You are supposed to respond. I told people our society is so illiterate to the extent people who sat in classrooms still have different thoughts, different thinking, different approach, unconventional approach to doing professional work. Because our society is so illiterate. And so one of my colleagues can say intolerance is heavily responsible. I mean, illiteracy is responsible for some of the intolerance we see in public service. He got fair. Why I question a boss? So he can say, he can feel that he's not supposed to respond to my inquiries. Even my inquiries borders on the repetition of his boss means I'm not answering. But
In
once,
fact, they'll go as far as calling from you.
yes. But when the inquiry, similar inquiry comes from another media entity or media person, then they respond. I will still get a response. Yeah? So you see, they just say you will not respond to that inquiry, but it will come from somebody else and you respond and I will get it. I will get it. So the point I'm making is we are being informed that the vice president slicked out of the country.
They should be back out today also.
And that he went to the UK.
Mhm.
And that somebody saw him in the UK. The destination of this very 19 million cocaine we're talking about.
Now they place the first one when?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the second consignment was destined for the UK. The first consignment went to the UK. The second consignment was destined for the UK. Now, our vice president, it is alleged or it is being reported that our vice president is not in country, he's in the UK.
Except that his office have not said it, but he's proving. I spoke to somebody yesterday who said to me, and he's in the UK and he should be back today. Either today also.
So now at this point, we have to draw a line. Why is the vice president in the UK? The same destination for the 19 million jobs we're talking about. And he's connected indirectly because there are people who have been indicted that are close to him. The very Tony we're talking about. Now the vice president is in the UK. And we're told, as we speak, no official statement from the office of the vice president detailing or indicating the purpose of the vice president's visit to the UK. That's vacuum you've created. It can be filled with anything. Then you get vexed again. Why the people?
Why they call you to go in UK?
When the people say, "Oh, the MFR call the vice president to go investigate him," then you get vexed. The people, when speculation comes up that the vice president had gone to apologize or to negotiate, then you get vexed. Negotiate for the 19 million job you get vexed. Because there is vacuum created. At this point, people that Solomon Wedding should be in the public now, clarifying what the vice president is doing in the UK, so people do not start to speculate. Pictures, sharing pictures. If he goes to attend a conference or he's on an official visit, let's know the detail of the vice president's trip to the to the UK, so we draw a line between the transactions that are taking place with the 19 million cocaine in the UK versus the vice president's trip in the UK. Yes. But you say that in arrogance, you say you don't want to say anything. No wonder that when the vice president is leaving for an official visit, a statement is issued. It's announced.
But this time around, the vice president clandestinely
sneaked out of the country to go to the UK. And we are being told that the president is also in Turkey. We need to verify this information.
You're not able to do anything?
Yeah.
You're talking anything
Yes.
will come by your nose and go down.
We have been told that the president is in Turkey. We need to verify this information as well. We need to verify this information. I check on since this morning, I'm looking on the Executive Mansion website, thinking, something happened with my internet. I keep refreshing to see whether there's a statement on the Executive Mansion website about the president's travel to Turkey, or to even confirm whether it is true the president traveled, the president is not in country. I still find it difficult to believe that the president is not in Liberia. But it is being reported in some straight, and these sources are, popular, well-respected sources. You can't be running the country like this. The same issues that the guys criticize. You come to power and you do the same things. When Mr. Cummings complained that, Mr. Cummings said you can't be doing the same thing over and over and again, and you expect different results, then you start cursing him. 1.1%. 5%. 3%.
How is somebody obtaining 1% even important in the conversation about drugs?
But this is the point. Yesterday, a UP man said, I listen to play 100% for his money from the Unity Party. Exactly what the UP star said to me yesterday was the issue that person was raising for Nima. So some of the guys in the UP are aware that the system is messed up. They're aware. That's why you hear the Unity Party chairman went to ELBC and call on the president to restructure, reshuffle the government. Let's ask ourselves, if all was well, if their performance was good, the UP chairman will go and sit on state radio and call on the president to restructure or reshuffle the government. All is not well. These guys are aware that the system has crashed. Yeah, they want to fix it. They need time. They need 1 year, 6 months. They want to use 1 year, 6 months to fix it or stabilize it.
Things fall apart.
Yes. So they believe that Tomofala must go. We must fix the system to stabilize it. We can have people that follow them on board. There are some who believe Kafwan must leave the Ministry of Finance because Kafwan is playing too much. He does not want to be. He doesn't want to put himself in the trouble that 12 fell in. So Kafwan said, no, we're not doing anything. We'll do it pass through the system and do that. You compare me, I will not do it. You can't go lay a computer to Joseph Boga. Because he said will be sitting on the table, you are there. How you lay complaining? So some believe Kafwan should leave. So the system is crashing. They have lost control of lost control of everything. They don't have any solution to the problem now. So they are angry. They are aggravated. They are aggrieved. The opposition is no longer aggrieved. The opposition is no longer aggrieved, and the ruling party men are aggrieved. They just vexed. They just angry. They just cursing. Yes.
Yeah.
The only country, everybody just vexed. Assistant minister vexed. Director vexed. Manager vexed. Executive director vexed. Deputy minister vexed. Deputy managing director vexed. Minister vexed. Managing director vexed. Everybody is angry.
Like the innocent people can feed it.
The people, look, the most angry people in this country are those who got job. The most angry people in the country are the people who get job in the government. How you get job in government? Then you angry. Assistant minister vexed. Assistant director vexed. Assistant manager angry. Deputy director angry. Assistant manager angry. Manager angry. Executive director angry. Deputy minister vexed. Deputy director general vexed. Director general is angry. Enter the office in the morning. Nobody speak to me. Nobody should speak to me. You're leaving. Minister enter the office. He sit down in the car for 1 hour, 2 hours. He can't get down. Minister, what happened, my man? And I ain't good move. Yes.
I still have to say that up with you.
Who put you there? Who put you there? Everybody just angry.
Lord.
I mean, something is wrong with leadership. Something is wrong about governance. And we are happy to identify the problems, the challenges, the missteps. Then you angry again. You go to they give you whole platform, deputy, they give you platform, they give you you take a deputy minister salary, your minister or managing director salary, your allowances, in air conditioned car, you sweating. You know AC in conference room, addressing the press, you sweating. Yeah, you vex. So I mean, like, so what do you want to do? What is making your vex?
Everything I know more.
They want the other woman working the money for MPA. All the that is that MPA dirty. Is that now I say telling somebody who close to John Safa, I say John Safa PR, man, I don't know how to respond to Queen. Is that MPA dirty like that? You go in and play. They play dirty, nasty.
Because
They jump in the morning.
they have been protected by the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You jump in the morning. You put him on John Seven at MCC. When I respond to you and say good today, what response to you? You will not attack me again. That's how angry the country is. Somebody working MPA, jump in the morning, start calling somebody from MCC. somebody from NTA, they work in the morning and start letting the other person from FDA. The other man working in the morning from the airport authority and start letting the other man from FPRC.
The anger is still internal.
Yes.
Yeah, against each other.
Internally, everybody get angry. You read Clarence Massacre post about Tifa, that Lofa Kante. The whole Lofa Kante divided into 4. Clarence Massacre, Clarence Massacre causing Tomofala. Tomofala causing Clarence Massacre. Tomofala get there, he carry a woman to go contain Judy. We are this way. First thing human get there, he said Tomofala, you won't be door, you won't be care. The whole system is just angry and divided. They just fighting, causing. Nobody is stable. Nobody is stable in the unity party. Nothing. Look at that youth congress divided. One group say Mary Seva should resign, or either you resign the job and keep the youth chairman job, or you resign the youth chairman job and focus on the government job. He won't call meetings and he can't call meeting to the party headquarters. He gotta go call meeting to restaurant. The other group say, headed by the Secretary General say, we're not going down there. The whole country there. He said, we must pay to lay down mass and energy. He get there, he go on the radio, he let Jeremiah come go. Samuel Koga, who they were running around here in Nima, Samuel Koga, they letting each other. You get called back and talk, you see you're removing now, no by election.
The very announced
vacancy.
It has been more than 3 months.
Yeah, instead of announcing vacancy or writing NEG, we notifying it about the vacancy that was created at the house, and NEG will announce to the public. You get still passing around, you see, lawmaker. Vijay Kunze, he now lawmaker. See how the guys are fighting amongst themselves. The opposition is not fighting amongst themselves. The opposition is united. You saw Simeon Freeman, Alexander Cummings, Joel Howard Taylor, Musa Hassan Bereti. You saw the inflow of major opposition leaders trooping into Grand Gila to celebrate the CDC 22nd anniversary. The opposition remains united. The ruling party divided. Angry people. Jeff Vex. Can hear Daniel Sandler talking about a criminal he being prosecuted for the wrong reason.
We've been hearing that ever since we agreed to what a criminal.
Well, I don't want to call the court, so now we tell him. He's gonna use it, man. You know.
But you say even the issue right now,
no. They say, nothing beyond job. Jeremiah couldn't connect it. He said, a criminal. Yesterday department report say the justice system is ineffective and corrupt.
Liberians listen to that thing. You're paraded with that thing. It is part of the reasons why Liberians voted for you. We're not here with tired. Let's talk new things.
So you are the one representing the opposition blind on the show. I the deputy minister for the government. I respond to you. So raise the issue. Raise your one issue. I respond.
So the first thing is the issue about drugs in the country. It is becoming alarming. This is not the first time a huge quantity of drugs has been arrested from our country.
I'm not taking Hagar Gunn as a serious man from the CDC. George Weah is a Buga Denzel. If he is funny. The man is funny. So I'm waiting for Hagar to win the issue.
Like to that pastor said, you're confused.
Is it? The man say nothing major drug issue. He said Georgia is a Buga Denzel.
When we talk about government officials allegedly sodomizing a young boy, then he responds.
He say Tue is a criminal. He's been
They seem to be hearing before.
Just what in New York I'm saying now. Everybody in the country knew that Georgia was a Buga Denzel. Georgia not go to school, he not know Bo. Tue corrupt. What did he Magia a criminal, Coach, he can speak English good. What did again? That coach, he can him be. The people heard all the thing. The 800,000 plus people voted for TDC.
The three amazing boys.
3 million balls, 16 billion, 25 million mop up.
I think one or two people that die in the car.
Gifty, Lama, and Peters. We heard all of those things. Batting.
Yeah. This is why they campaign.
All of those negative propaganda, those last 800,000 plus human beings still came out to vote for an incumbent, the highest number an incumbent has ever won election way. One way in Liberia, in post-war Liberia. Go see any record from 2005 and her re-election record in 2011. Compared to George, we have re-election. Over re-election, the number you got 800,000 votes. Very popular incumbent. To the extent that less than 1% decided. That's how you lead a country. That's how you lead a country. That the people must have confidence in you. 20,000 will be difference. Say, okay, we'll go Joseph Boakai way. That's how you lead a country. We was a popular incumbent. And he remains a highly popular opposition and former president. Can we say the same about Boakai? 3 years running, Mr. Boakai is already unpopular. Even folks who in the UP are no longer waiting to even carry him back. The folks who are waiting to carry Mr. Boakai back are folks who believe that when we carry him back, he will lack the capacity, the energy will not be there, the strength will not be there, his mentality will dream, the Jeremiah Kun says, so we can control things. We can put in the chair, then we control it. So those are the few people, and that's a bureaucratic structure within the UP that would prefer carrying Mr. Boakai back. If Mr. Boakai had gotten elected in 2017, I think we may have done better. If Mr. Boakai had gotten elected in 2017, I think he may have done better. That's why I hate to place too much emphasis on him, because as an individual, because there's nothing that some of us said about him during the campaign period that is not happening. So I want to focus more on those who have the energy, those who were the messengers of his message, those who were the mujahideens of the rescue agenda. I love to place and that are now giving managerial or ministerial role in the government, that are in charge of sectors that they can use or they're supposed to transform, or at least destroy everything. But now, the 2 years, we would have started to see a path that speaks to transformation, a path that presents a picture, a glowing picture for Liberia. We see that with this, we know we are headed somewhere. Where is that path? Where is that transformation? Where is that program? Where is that picture? No, everybody is chasing his or her own cloud. Everybody wants to be seen as the man of the day or the woman of the day. Internal competition. Look, that internal competition, especially from a negative standpoint, where everybody feels entitled, everybody feels authoritative, everybody wants to be seen as the person of the day, running the show, or as the head nigger in charge. It kills institutional effectiveness. It reduces people's willingness to work, because the work environment is supposed to be cohesive. Recognizing everyone recognizing his or her role, not just recognizing each other's role, but respecting it. Everybody wants to be in the UP. The government is not perfect. I hosted Senator Dubois the other day. Senator Dubois complained that the government, he acknowledged that he said the Unity Party is not in charge. The UP wants to be in charge. And that's why they're about to remove Tomo Farah. Because the UP wants to be in charge. But what is the UP saying about this drug thing? So assuming that she's agreeing that she's not in charge, that's why this investigation is proceeding the way it is proceeding. What has the UP said? What has the UP said? At this point, I will shift a bit and then we take course. And I will speak to the opposition folks on this matter. You see, that's what you say we should do it again. Yeah, man. The opposition folks. The unity we see is necessary, it's strategic, but it's not enough. In a serious country or a country that has real pressure, a country that has strong opposition that shows the willingness to engage radically the government in charge of the day, the vice president should be resigning or stepping down tomorrow. Mr. President will not do that, will not ask his vice president to step down and be investigated. The Unity Party will not ask the vice president to step down and be investigated. The opposition can muster that courage. Not just to issue a statement calling for the investigation of Jeremiah Kun, but the opposition coming together must think about issuing a statement calling on the vice president to step down as vice president and face state investigation. We want to go to court. If the vice president is being investigated, we will subpoena the court. We'll go to the court and subpoena Orange and Lone Star. Bring the vice president call law. We want to see the vice president's conversation between Tony and all those connected. Michael Brown, Tony, and the DDU. In country like the US, they will investigate. That's what they will do. That's exactly what they will do. They want to establish whether it is true that the vice president does not have any relationship with Tony, whether he does not know Tony. The easiest way to establish that is to go to the GSM committee, go to the court and subject the vice president to an investigation. And he can't be vice president, we'll be investigating him. If he can't be vice president and be investigating him, we ask him to step down and subject himself to an investigation. During the investigation, we will go to the court to subpoena his call up between him and Tony. We want to see what was the last time he had a conversation with Tony. What are the exchange messages? That's how you fight a manic that is being protected by a cartel. When the vice president is established that he has no contact, he has no contact with Tony, good to go. He doesn't have to be vice president for our country. He doesn't have to. But the vice president, I agree with Rodney. Rodney said the vice president needs to further clarify. He needs to. This is not an ordinary allegation we're talking about, and this is not an ordinary person we are talking about. This conversation concerns the vice president for the Republic of Liberia. This is the character we are talking about. This is the personality we are talking about. The vice president for the Republic of Liberia, the second most powerful person in our country. And he's connected with every negative thing in our country. From harvesting him on part, people accusing him, to involving into money laundering, black money thing, putting counterfeit from China and bringing them to our country. These are allegations. They're all in the public. I feel ashamed that my vice president, who I should respect, is always connected to fraudulent activities, to fraudulent dealings, to fraudulent operations, for human part harvesting, to black money thing, to counterfeiting, to illegal money activities. Now we're talking cocaine, drugs. Why are they not accusing Gafon? This is the question that we must ask ourselves. And to those of you who want to defend the vice president, this is the question all of us must ask the vice president. Without due respect to you, Mr. Vice President, without due respect to all of you who think you are under obligation to defend the vice president, why the vice president? We want back in the feeding and levy a lot of allegations against the vice president about his involvement in the mining sector. The vice president say he will not speak, he will not clarify, he will not comment about anything that comes from a son of Nima. B spoke a lot about the mining, his involvement, his misdealings in the mining sector. How the vice president they didn't want him as minister because he wanted to control things in the mining. He wanted somebody who he could control, put his nose around, they want puppet or Humpty Dumpty. So let's bring a puppet and place him there. Today, we have a conversation about cocaine. And somebody say, the vice president must clarify. You see, that the vice president, he said, do it one more time again. So somebody said the vice president is connected. The vice president must clarify. Did you get there? Oh, you out there, yeah, doing your government, you out there crying all around here. No relationship.
You out there crying that time pass. At the ready we're talking here.
Why you take off on that for now? Because during our time, you were crying. So better here for Kun to not cry. Instead of Kun not crying and Kun running everything, he connected to him about past harvesting. Somebody accusing Acosta here. Acosta accusing of harvesting him on past. Yeah. The other day, another person was accusing him of involving into counterfeit money, importing counterfeit money in the country. The other day, Roman Pay was accusing him of involving into illegal money activities, trying to manipulate everything in the money sector to enrich himself. Today, Tony is so the question is, why Jeremiah Kun? Why not Richard Kun? Why not Richard Kun? Why not Augustine Gafwan? Why not Amos Tue? Why not Mo Ali? Why not Steve Kuya?
That Jerry Liberian hit.
So everybody in the country just hate Jerry. And they love all the other UP people, they just hate Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Even the Bwaka, we couldn't say that Bwaka.
Well, yeah, why would you say Bwaka? Look at the trend of the allegation, the sequence of allegations.
When they see Jerry accusing, you can go to where they trust.
People, I mean, come to think about it. Everybody in the corner say, "Oh, Joe Bagajian and his friends are involved with Joe. Joe Bagajian is involved, or Tanta Braga."
This one could not go to Tanta. It would have been more easy to connect Bwaka when you were going to haul in Tanta.
Yes,
Bwaka is the head of the country. But they left Tantan,
They left Jojo,
they left Jojo, they hauled Jerry.
Jerry. So Jerry not get child, Jerry not get son, he get daughter. Why not Jerry daughter? Why not Jerry son?
And there is also a picture of Jerry's wife
With the very man
with the
too.
very guy.
She laughing, smiling because she has met her son. So why not? So Jerry not get no children. Jeremiah could not get no B son or B daughter.
Even they couldn't put on.
Why not Yeke? Why Jerry? Everybody wants us to think that they lying on the man knee, or we should accept what the man says. No, man. Somebody tells me, say, man, you're the monkey, the black behind.
But I want to laugh.
So I say, you put the man there, you made the man president. Say, don't waste your time, man. No, but the past president he has a lot to do. And I don't know whether he still has the time to do it or whether the willingness is there to adjust. But
Honestly,
I don't know. He's in a mess.
I would take off the responsibility to be. I can tell you, I see the vice president. My uncle is my uncle. It's just that we all decide to just be patriotic and in the interest of the country. So I think I will start providing from today. I will start providing some media consultancy to the office of the vice president
If
on a pro bono basis. Whether they will take it at their business, but I think those around him are not doing him well.
So let's read these few pieces. Here you go.
Mm.
Then you can close in on them and then we take calls. So this one is coming from I want to read one from Philip Brown and read one from Senator Snow and Senator Amakon. They just issued a joint statement. So let's read the two. I want to post them. I want to share them in our production room. Then we can. Okay. So Philip Brown, you remember the guy who broke the news about the $16 billion in other CDC government? Okay. So okay. So he writes under the caption, a caution to Vice President Jeremiah Pancon. Mr. Vice President, you should understand that front page Africa managing editor Rodney C is not an ordinary force in Liberian journalism. He operates at a level that connects directly to major media networks in Europe and the Americas. And his commentary carries weight far beyond Monrovia. When Mr. C raises questions about photographs and associations linked to the 19.2 million RIA drug investigation, it reflects more than domestic politics. It signals that international partners and media stakeholders are watching closely and expect clear, credible responses from Liberia's leadership. At their level, even the perception of proximity to suspects can do damage that ordinary political attacks cannot. In journalism, we say a picture speaks 1,000 words. And right now, the optics are working against you. This is not the time to dismiss the matter as routine criticism. You should be mindful of the eye of May. That moment when public scrutiny hardens into lasting judgment. The case of CDC is 16 billion and 25 million. You should be mindful of the eye of May. That moment when public scrutiny hardens into lasting judgment, when you settle down, when you're hard, when you're stiff, there is 16 million is settled down. Now, what are you talking about? For the sake of your office, your credibility, and Liberia's international reputation, it will be prudent to address these questions directly. Draw clear lines. Exactly what we're saying just now. Exactly what we were saying just now, Mr. Vice President. You have to draw lines. Be decisive. Come clear. Establish clear lines. Exactly what we're just telling you. So say that let people be writing on Facebook. We don't lament that is all to it. And when people speak, go on Google or go on maybe one of the AI2. Just Google some of these names these people radio talk show hosts. Google some of our names in on Google or some of the AI2 and see the results that will come out. The world is following the global. This place is a global village. So sit down and be telling somebody, say, I don't know the man. So this John's statement by Melvin Snow Jr. and Senator individuals in the cocaine burst at the Roberts International Airport in Liberia. The seizure of approximately 237 it exposes serious concerns regarding the country's rule of law, border security, and the investigation, but made up to believe that they were in control of the situation. If this was accurate, it raises an obvious question. How were these suspects able to evade arrest? The Liberian people deserved full transparency regarding whether these individuals were under surveillance, whether operational failures allowed them to escape, or whether other circumstances contributed to their departure from Liberia's jurisdiction. Simply put, drugs worth approximately 19.2 million reportedly entered Liberia and were on the verge of being exported through the country's only international airport. Yet, despite the magnitude of this case, no persons of interest that the authorities knew but could not name, and of course, no suspect appears to have been physically arrested by national security agencies. Even though the officer in charge of the LDEA publicly informed the nation that there were persons of interest in custody. According to official statements, the only individual currently in custody who was sent to court yesterday is the suspect who voluntarily boarded a flight, returned to Liberia, and surrendered to national security authorities upon his arrival at Roberts International Airport.
So,
if these are indeed the facts, they raised serious questions about the the effectiveness of our security institutions and our commitment to combating transnational organized crime. How is it possible that a cocaine shipment valued at 19.2 million could be intercepted without a single suspect being apprehended by our security forces before leaving the country? Are we truly serious about enforcing the law and expecting the international community to take Liberia seriously in the fight against organized crime? Furthermore, while we acknowledge the efforts made thus far, the investigation must not end with those allegedly connected to the attempted exportation of the cocaine. Equal attention must now be devoted to uncovering the entire criminal network behind this operation, as if to say they don't already know. It's a long one. Critical questions remain unanswered. Who financed the importation of these drugs? How did the cocaine enter Liberia by air, sea, or land? Where was it stored, concealed, or repackaged before being transported to the airport? Who coordinated the logistics of the operation? Which financial institutions or other entities, if any, were used to launder the proceeds? Who are the additional local and international collaborators? Why are public officials or state security personnel involved, either directly or indirectly? How did the investigation exonerate Emmanuel Zion, the drugs transporter? How did the investigation exonerate Ruth Babawiye, a screener at RIA, who allowed suspicious package to pass for security clearance? The Liberian people deserve answers to these questions. And I can end right here. We call for an independent investigation conducted with the full cooperation and technical support of Liberia's international partners to ensure that every individual responsible for financials and importers to traffickers, facilitators, and any public officials who may have aided this criminal enterprise is identified, investigated, and prosecuted in accordance with the law. The people deserve nothing less than the full truth.
Let's get to our audience. Time is fast spent. Let's speak course on this topic. You listen to it. It's up to you to make your input. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 plus 231 886 500 104. Let's talk to you here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead. Tell us your name and from where you join us. Walk away from your monitor, please.
Okay, I'm just going back going from Quebec.
Go ahead.
I want to make my contribution this morning as related to the issue of drugs and the government with the proceeding into this drug issue. I just want to clearly state that once the bossmen of the horses are in control, everyone do what they think they can do. The president is not in control of this nation. The Unity Party government is not in position to take complete control over every government issues into this country. So we will continue with this until the state here come to an end.
Okay.
Just let me contact Liberians to make a sound decision 2029. Thank you.
Let's talk to you here. Morning.
Good morning, nigga.
Go ahead, you live.
And let me say good morning to Austin. My name is Eugene S. Jobo Jr. and I call you from Capital Bar. Thanks for the presentation and thanks for the kind of work that you do, to ensure that Liberia is better for everyone on the earth. But interestingly, all what I've said, for me, I have one straight concern. Nobody gives you the to say, to say, involved into the drug. The president is taking the issue, and you need to the president he doesn't know him. And Tony Cook saying that the president is a godfather. There's a complete contradiction. There are photos, with the vice president in Tony. So the vice president should be clear with Liberia people, and that's why when Austin said if Liberia was a serious country, the vice president should be stepping down now. But unfortunately for us, we're not serious.
All right.
To change.
Okay.
Possible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Austin. You have call from there.
Yeah, because go ahead briefly.
Good morning, Austin. Good morning, Higa. Good morning to all peace-loving Liberians who are in tune this morning. Thanks for the recognition. Gentlemen, this country under the UP-led government is not serious. We have seen officials of government going below the belt and still walk with their heads up high. This recent scenario involving the vice president is one that I'm speaking to. Like, knowing somebody, when I saw those optics, I said, well, what is this guy trying to prove? And then you find one deputy minister of information who's supposed to be giving factual information to the people, always using his platform to denigrate people that will come against the excesses of the government. Is that what we are
the man rule now, the man deputy minister for public affairs now, he preserves over propaganda.
I am somehow spellbound. Why should not knowing the fact like the pictures that were shown still want to look down or rot there? Leveling him, the former.
Okay, let's talk to this person from this other line. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Austin Kawa.
Go ahead.
Welcome back on the show.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is Bonnie Cat, 1 million Williams and follower of the Bank Cotton Williams. Bro Hika and Bro Austin, how will the government without his best? When you are irresponsible, what will make you without his best?
You won't be para now.
Why will you not be best? Because this government, they do what they therefore they don't know.
Okay.
They just come to power, then they're confused.
All right.
To rule the citizen, they're confused. They don't know what they're there for.
Thank you. Let's talk to Masisi.
Go ahead, Palawa 101. Masisi, let's hear you. Oh, sorry. Let me.
Okay. Then let's talk to this.
Pause.
Let's talk to this person from this WhatsApp line. Morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Yeah. Good morning to my brother, Austin.
Good morning.
You know, Austin, Liberia is a country that the people need to be serious. Gregory Coleman is a drug dealer. My name is Musa Brown. I'm always saying it. Gregory Coleman is a drug dealer. And you made him police director. How? In this world, in this great country, America, when there is drugs issues, it is drugs enforcement that lead investigation. Where is Gregory Coleman coming from? When he left, when the drugs issue happened, he never said a thing. He left the country. He went to position his boys, he made them leave the country. Then he go there, he jumping all around. That's some kind of a monkey. Same thing that when you see a physical authority, you will know that Gregory Coleman is deeply. And these are people playing by Jeremiah Coon. The drugs into the country. Look, Austin and Hagar, look at the tools bags. The tools boxes they put for the young machines. Look at them. There is the same continue that they brought, that they are tools in, that the same continue the drugs were in. So it means that the drugs came through the young machines. That's why Jeremiah went to China for. That's why he went to negotiate. That's the kind of deal they are calling. In the last time, they bought and something for drugs.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to. Yeah.
Good morning. Let's hear you quickly.
I join you guys for Coverton this morning. So let me first say thanks for the conversation. And I listen to some of the questions that you guys will always accusing the vice president. why not all official or government or all people? And I listened to someone on one of the platforms talking about, the vice president couldn't expect him to be to where he is today, so they envy or something. I want the public to know that they say where there is smoke, there is fire. Jeremiah is desperate to become a billionaire. For that reason, he engaged with everything. Even before the election, before he can become vice president, we all saw how people now accused for facts about his involvement in human parts. That was something like even his supporter and all people from the rescue mission talk about. You can listen to Wemo Pay, who spoke about how he is trying to overcome to control everything in the mining sector. And that is facts. We have seen it. So the vice president is desperate about everything. For that reason, he is involved into too many negative things in the country. So we have to be careful.
We have to be careful. Thank you, Peter. Masisi, go ahead.
The last caller, right?
Go ahead, Uma.
Those are enjoying it. Yeah, my own. No. The customer, the pastor boy tell you who is my own. No. I was saying to you, got a recording for Jeremiah Queen in the 2023 election, 2017 election. What is that? That last time my daughter was in the room collecting money, they recorded it on your plate. Again, that my daughter was collecting money at that time. Was many years, you said? Someone made a daughter to be to collecting money. And now he.
My brother,
I'm saying my
was 2 persons here like so.
Because you tell your friends that what you are doing in the room where
Let's listen to this person. Morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Higa. Spencer Mohammed and a couple of down Coast Munio, Winter Community, never concern like very justice. For me, my attention has been drawn to the recording that was played by you people from Daniel Sano. Hey, Higa. I let's do Daniel Sano putting rainy fear on the carpet. Man, this is the highest level of hypocrisy I've seen in my country. It's like, people who read. Wait, sorry, about the 100 million drugs. Put that for 100 million drugs in this country, the platform for Venice. Even when the issue went to the Supreme Court, was that the same Venetian newspaper they used to come to power today, and today, Daniel Sano is speaking to this man in a kind of delicate manner. Newspaper they continue to shut yourself here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's talk to this person finally from the WhatsApp line. Morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, Higa. Thanks also to Austin, my dear, brilliant, courageous, the man with fortitude and tenacity.
Can you please go ahead?
Yeah, man, we just pull out. We are very appreciative of your service to you and Higa. Yeah, thank God, thanks to God for your service to our beloved country. For the recognition for the public, I'm focused, Robert. And I join you this morning for our unknown destinations. You see, Austin, when you call dial come from under the water, or even a lace off under the water and tell you say they get broken scattered there, who am I to say no? We are not against the fire president, but we are against the Nicodemus behavior of him. The Nicodemus behavior. If you can respect, Costa said it ahead of time. It was not from the CDC angle, it was from the rescue angle. See, the C-Party now supporting the fire president said, allegedly, for me I would say allegedly, that the particular man was a human part trafficker. He was an individual trafficking human part. What you said to that? Today, you see the kind of huge allegation has come against the fire president, and you can't even hear the fire president making one, how they call it, or reporter. And put on the thing is very serious.
The man reporter back.
Come again?
Go ahead anyway.
Okay, no, what I mean, Austin, for Austin, the kind of level you and you can play on the media skill. Anybody come with kind of lies, you guys will come and protect your legacy and your reputation. But why the fire president cannot come to the public?
Okay.
You see the measure, the fire president to conclude.
Thank you, Poker. Time is fast spent. Time is not in our favor. We are out of time, Austin. So yes, yeah. So
Yes, it has been a good time being together. Today, time is not our friend in this business of broadcast. Until we are here on tomorrow, let's keep the peace of Liberia.